Hey guys, it's Jeremy, one of your favorite people with Parkinson's. It's been a few minutes since my last post. By minutes, I mean weeks. I was in California. I'm going to throw a picture of me on Goat Rock Beach in Sonoma County. That was me. Went there with my wife and kid. Good time, but it was exhausting, but I would have done it all over again. In the last few weeks, since my last video, I've had a lot of time to roll around things in my head, like what's the next topic going to be? Because, I mean, I've talked about so many different things, and this is the thing that keeps coming back to mind, and that's putting a brave face on Parkinson's disease. Sorry if you can hear, there's noise upstairs. My son's throwing a fit. But I'm on a roll here, so I'm just going to keep going. Hopefully it won't be too distracting. So why do we put on a brave face in Parkinson's disease? Is it for ourselves or is it for those around us? I think it's a little bit of both. I know that when I was first diagnosed, I wouldn't say I was in denial. I really wanted to be normal again. And that was never really going to happen. Some people would argue that I've never been normal, which I can't argue with that. But I guess what happened was people would ask me, how are you doing? Are you okay? Are you feeling okay? And the long and short of it was, no, I didn't feel okay. Some days I did, some days I didn't. The longer I've been sick, the more frustrating this disease has got. But I feel like it's twofold. Like I said, I put on a brave face for my family and friends because nobody wants to be around a mope. Somebody just can't deal. But also I put on the brave face for myself because it kind of fake it till you make it, so to speak. I can't live in a state of depression, but I have to be honest. I have to be honest with you guys, and maybe this comes as a surprise to some people, maybe not as others, but not so much as to other people. But life is very difficult. I don't share a lot of my more severe struggles on this channel. I feel like privacy is important. Some of the things I don't show are a lot of times in the morning and even sometimes in the afternoon if my dose is worn off and I take a pill, I get really bad convulsions. That's what it looks like. My back twists and jerks and goes back and forth. My legs I can't stop moving my legs. It's called dyskinesia, and there's a little bit of dystonia in there, which is cramping. I don't show that. It's unpleasant. It's something that frankly keeps me from going out and doing things because it can be so overwhelming for me to experience, and probably for those of my friends and family that have seen it happen. It's not fun, and you just never really know when that's going to come in. That's something Michael J. Fox has been pretty open about. You can see him wiggle on screen, but this is something a little more severe than that. Another thing I can deal with is in the morning, usually before I take my medicine, it can be very difficult to speak. The muscles that it takes to speak can just be so fatigued, and my brain doesn't always sync up with my mouth. My wife would say that's been a problem of mine for years, but this is a little more severe. It's like there's all these little things that add up to one giant monster, which is Parkinson's disease. And I know I'm the kind of guy that wants to be a can-do guy. I want to show you what I can do. I don't want to mope and focus on what I can't do, but I really feel like some transparency is going to go a long way with helping you guys understand what it's like to have this disease. You know, your brain works slow sometimes. Sometimes you can't think straight. It's not like you can't think straight, but it's like your brain can't process all the signals going into it at the same time. I've compared it to a CPU unit, a computer. Like, we're running Windows 95 and you're trying to run some high-end graphics. It doesn't work. Your brain just can't keep up. It's an isolating disease. I do get lonely. It's very difficult. People generally have to come see me. It's very difficult for me to get out. Like I said, I can get out, but another thing I don't show is a lot of times I walk when I'm with a cane. The side effects from my medicine, which I've covered in other videos, make my legs go everywhere. It's very, very difficult to walk. So Even around the house, I'll use a cane to hobble from here and there. Just a lot, and I feel like I just wanted to be honest with you guys, because like I'll show me laughing and walking and making jokes, and I think maybe sometimes what gets lost is the struggles. It's real. And like I said, I think I put the brave face on as much for myself as for others, but it's hard to let people see you struggle, to let people see you at your worst. I mean, it's really, you have to be very vulnerable with people. And I've always been kind of, in the past, kind of, I would say a lot, but I wouldn't really say, I would keep my heart and my true feelings to myself a lot of times, especially at work. And this kind of ties in with work. I was talking to my wife, and she said that what you're talking about is kind of like, you can never really know what somebody's going through on the inside. I mean, I hid for the entirety of the 2 years that I came back to work how bad I was struggling, especially that last 6 months to a year. So much so that people were surprised that I quit. I was very private about my struggles. And by the same token, people don't have to have Parkinson's disease to be dealing with stuff. Maybe you're going through some horrible personal trauma or some really tumultuous time in your life. Maybe you have your own health issues. Maybe someone you love is going through health issues. So I guess it's a lesson in empathy, and just kind of like, you don't really know what someone's going through. I'm not asking for pity or anything like that, but just like, sometimes you meet somebody and you're hanging out with them and they don't see themselves, or maybe they do see themselves. You really don't know what's going on behind somebody's eyes, how badly they may be struggling. So that's one thing that I guess Parkinson's has taught me, is to be a little more empathetic, to realize just like when I'm struggling, maybe nobody knows it. Maybe I'm sitting in the room, maybe I'm struggling with anxiety or depression, or maybe I'm just in a funk. Just be aware of that when you're talking to other people, especially people with neurological problems, because a lot of what's going on can be under the surface. The brain, you can see the physical shaking, and you can see the physical stiffness, but especially with Parkinson's, there's a lot of other things going on inside the brain. Your brain can't produce dopamine in the adequate amounts. Dopamine controls mood and pleasure as well as movement. So we're already most of us anyway, already leaking dopamine, something fierce, and it's hard to stay upbeat. It's hard to stay upbeat and positive in the face of this unrelenting monster that just will never let you go. I can't remember the last time I sat down and didn't think about Parkinson's for more, like maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes before I had to think about Parkinson's, because my foot started wiggling, or my meds wore off, or I was anxious because I was in public. Now, a lot of that's on me, but it's what I struggle with. And just wanted to share that with you. I don't want to be the kind of guy that is always like, it's all fine, it's all good, because honestly, a lot of times it's not. So a lot of times it's goddamn frustrating. It's really, really hard. But I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to be more honest with things, and I hope that you guys enjoy it and appreciate what I'm doing here. As always, give me comments, send me messages. I love hearing from you guys. It cheers me up. Till next time, peace and love from the city of St. Louis.